Hi everybody, pardon the pun, but Loop 8 has really thrown me for a loop here. Right from the second that it was announced, it shot straight up to one of the most highly anticipated games of the year. Then more trailers came out and beautiful locations were shown, lovely character designs were displayed. All told, it looked gorgeous, but a game is a lot more than its graphics. How does it actually play? That is really what I want to dive deep into here, so come with me and let's find out all about my experience with Loop 8. Before we begin, I would like to thank Xseed for an early review copy of the game. It was released on June 6th for the PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PS4. I did not go into this blind or anything. There has been a slow drip of information about it over the past couple of months. Trailer after trailer, article after article, each showcasing the game as well as the pedigree behind the development team. I mean, they did work on Lunar and Grandia after all. But the one thing that always bothered me was the character growth system. And after playing it, I can honestly say that it's absolutely unlike anything I've ever played before. One thing that I do want to get out of the way real fast is to say this. A lot of this review is going to be me standing around talking to people. And if I'm standing in one place and mashing that X button over and over and over again, that's because I'm trying to show you exactly what it's like to play this game. I take my job as a reviewer very seriously, and I do try to deliver the truth to you each and every day. So if I were to go out of my way to show off extra cutscenes and things like that for the majority of the video, that wouldn't be showing you what the majority of the gameplay is like. And hey, if y'all are liking this video so far, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for some more great content. Similar to the vast majority of RPGs nowadays, it begins with a hand-holding tutorial for the first 30 or so minutes, introducing you to your house, your school, and the quiet sleeping town who's inhabited solely by your classmates. Nobody else exists here. During the tutorial, it's really on the rails. The game tells you exactly where to go, who to talk to, and what to do to power up your skills, your stats, receive blessings, and increase the bonds of your characters, only to then throw you for a loop, literally, as you enter the underworld to die a horrible death against the K-guy that plagued the town. Once this happens, the time loops, and you start back over from the very beginning, but this time you're let loose to do your own thing, talk to whomever you'd like, and spend your free time as you see fit, for better or for worse. Any and all hand-holding is done. And while normally I would applaud that, here there's definitely some hand-holding needed because of just how convoluted and unintuitive the systems are that are implemented. Let me explain. Each time that you begin a loop, everything is reset. The days are reset, your life and your stamina are reset, all of your friendship values are reset. The only thing that actually stays with you are any blessings that you've received. You have to go through the same opening cutscenes again, and have the exact same conversations with your little friends again. Though thankfully, because of the blessings that you've gotten the first time around, it doesn't take near as long as to increase your friendship values to the previous levels. However, it does just kind of lead to drudgery, because while there is a cutscene skip feature, there isn't a fast forward feature, nor is there a dash button. And to add insult to injury, you can only skip certain cutscenes. So most of the time you're going to be sitting there mashing the X button to get through the dialogue that you've already read like 100 times before, only to accidentally end up mashing through a friendship choice, and because your cursor defaults on the wrong answer each time, accidentally hitting that and then negatively affecting your relationship values. This isn't the biggest deal because you can't just talk to them again, but man, it is still annoying. Add to the fact that despite being firmly entrenched in the visual novel genre, there's really little to no character development. That's because of what I said earlier. You just end up mashing through the exact same text that you've seen a million times before. And whenever you do get to interact with them and make a friendship choice, nothing really happens. For example, let's say that you decide to flirt with them. You'll either get an, "Oh thanks," and some stats raised, or get an, "Ew, get away from me," and get some stats lowered. And it's like that for all of the different choices. Multiply that by 13 characters that you have to deal with, and I think that you can see where I'm going with this. So while you might think that it's kind of like a waste of time since it all gets reset at the loop anyway, doing this and talking to them all is the only way to receive blessings for them, because those are also known as your permanent stat gains. So, What this means for you, the player, is that you have to sit through that same conversation, constantly mashing that X button, raising up those friendship values to get all the blessings. The whole system just leads me to believe that the absolute most important thing to do is just get all the blessings every single day. So personally, I would scoot off to the different shrines located around the town to get my daily blessings, then head off to school to receive the stat increases, then just blab incessantly with my classmates until I ran out of stamina and was forced to go to bed by my cousin. I hate to say it, but it does not exactly make for riveting gameplay. Then there's one of my favorite features in RPGs, a time limit, where every second that you play, the clock ticks down by a minute. Honestly though, it's not really as bad as many other time management RPGs, because it's not like shops open at a particular time, because there are no shops. In fact, there's no currency whatsoever. If you want to recover your health at a restaurant, all it actually costs is your time. And keeping track of where the characters are isn't that big of a deal either, because there is a fast travel screen where you can hop from place to place, and this screen also shows you which character is in which location. But the time will still pass as if you had walked there. So that time management still is paramount as you decide how to plan out your day. But that's not the least of its problems. After the first loop and the hand-holding stopped, I kept thinking to myself, how do I move on? How do I go to the underworld and fight the K-Guy? What do I do to actually progress and break out of this loop? Well, like I said before, there's no hand-holding, and the game just doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do. You're off on your own, and basically, you have to go off and level up a specific random character to a specific random point, then you'll see them randomly get possessed, and then a warp gate to the underworld will appear. But once you're in that underworld, there will be barriers that block your progress. So you need to roam around the underworld, collecting Magatama to bust down the barriers and face the boss to move on to the next days. And here again, it would just greatly benefit from some sort of tutorial to tell you what to do. I mean, the underworld is exactly like the town. There's really no difference at all except that it's a shade of red, and there's no fast travel. So I went through, I found the boss, I beat him up, and then I found out that I killed the character that I was supposed to save. I thought that I was just doing everything normally. The game gave me no indication whatsoever that I was supposed to somehow save this person. And I only realized that they died whenever I woke up the next morning saying that I cut their life short and I was a murderer, and then the character no longer appeared in the status screen either. So all that work, gone, down the tubes. I guess I need to reset and do this all over again. All told, the game could greatly benefit from some sort of indicator saying like, there's some strange anomaly occurring on Main Street, maybe you should go check it out. Or something like, your friend Samu is acting strangely, maybe you should go check on him. Or something like, hey, don't actually fight this boss, somehow save him. Just something to give you some sort of vague indication of what you're supposed to do or where to go, rather than checking with 13 different people at different times a day and at different locations, hoping and praying that something might happen. I really dislike games that force you to be glued to a guide at all times, and unfortunately, I do feel like that's the case for this one. Considering the pedigree behind the game, and the gorgeous art style along with the atmospheric music, I really wanted to like it. But with no equipment system, no items to be found whatsoever, no treasures, no dungeons, barely any fighting at all, it feels much more like a time sink than a real game. And at the end of the day, all I could feel like was this was just like a wasted opportunity of such fantastic talent. Now, I know that games aren't made for everyone, and this is a very niche product for a very niche audience. If you're a fan of visual novels, life sims, or like persona bonding events, then I'm sure that you can find something to enjoy here. But if you're like me, and you're looking for more traditional RPGs in the same vein as Dragon Quest, Tales, Final Fantasy, or Lunar and Grandia, then please look elsewhere because this just is not it. So that's it for my review of Loop 8 Summer of the Gods. What did you think about the game? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and want to do your own on the channel, please consider following me over on Twitter, supporting me on Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my content, heading on over to Twitch for streaming fun, or coming on over to my Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.